What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! 7 summary preview analysis. Today, guys, we are going to be going over the summary and preview for episode 66 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens. I'm excited, as always, to be getting into these summary preview discussions with you guys, so without further ado, let's not waste any more time, and let's jump right into it. Alright, so here is the episode 66 summary. The title of it is called Showdown, the Devil Empire. The final battle against the Goha siblings, with the fate of Rush Duels on the line, is finally here. Yuga challenges the Luke man, who showed up behind Yugioh, to a duel. What tactics will Yuga use to defeat the Luke man, who has now switched into his perfect mode? And obviously with no cast list, since I guess they're just not doing that anymore, that's going to be it for the summary portion of this video. And this is going to be a pretty interesting discussion. So it seems the final matchup for this arc is going to be Yuga versus the Luke man. And if I'm going to be honest, I really don't know how to feel about this, and there is one particular character of why I have mixed feelings with this result, and that character is Yugioh. Yugioh is the main antagonist of this arc, right? Where the hell does he fit in with the last two episodes of this arc? What is going to happen with him? It doesn't seem like he's going to be in any duel for the next two episodes, because more than likely this duel is going to be a two-part duel, because really I just don't see them just breaking the trend that they've been doing for the last couple of arcs. In fact, the first season, every final duel of the arc, it was a two-part duel. You know, Yuga versus Roa, Yuga versus Nail and Asana, both of the rematches were two-part duels, and even Yuga versus Luke round 2 was a two-episode duel. So I just cannot see them not doing a two-part episode for this duel as well. But if that's the case, where the hell does Yugioh fit into this? I mean, what I find so weird about this is that I felt like he should have a duel in here, but it seems like they're not going to be giving that. After all, we do know he has a anti-spellcaster cyborg type fusion monster, and it seems like he's not going to be dueling Yuga anytime soon. So my question is, where the hell is Yugioh going to go from this story? I mean, that is a very big concern that I have. But I think we have to talk about all the other stuff before I can really talk about the stuff with Yugioh. And this is more of what I kind of want to see to kind of make everything make the most sense, I guess. And I'll kind of explain it as we go on with this video. But Yuga versus the Luke man. This is going to be a very interesting duel, because technically this is Yuga and Luke's third time facing off, and I know people are going to say, well, the Luke man is technically different, so it's not going to really be Yuga versus Luke round 3. But in my opinion, the Luke man is still Luke. I don't give a damn if he's brainwashed or whatever the hell's going on. Luke is still under that mask. It's not like because he's wearing a mask, it's just not Luke under there. It's still Luke in that like suit, which I guess he's now going to be wearing his full suit in this episode, which is pretty interesting. But I still look at it as Luke dueling in this episode, so it's essentially Yuga versus Luke round 3, whatever you want to call him, the Luke man or not. I frankly don't care. To me, it's still Yuga versus Luke round 3, no matter which way you look at it. It's like saying every time Roman went into her awakened mode, she wasn't actually dueling, which is total bullcrap. She was still dueling. So in my opinion, I don't care if you call it Yuga versus the Luke man or Yuga versus Luke round 3. To me, it's still Luke dueling either way you look at it. So that's where I kind of have a little bit of a problem with it as well, because we literally saw this in the last freaking arc. I mean, we had Yuga versus Luke in the finals of the tournament, and now we're having this again, where Yuga is essentially dueling Luke again just for the sake of Rush Duels, which, let's just get this out of the way, Yuga's winning this duel. There is no way in hell that Yuga is going to lose this duel. The only thing I can see happening other than Yuga winning is this duel not finishing, or this duel somehow be a draw. But honestly, I hope to God it's Yuga, because for the love of God, just want to see Luke lose at this point. And I think the only other problem that I kind of have with this is that I didn't want Yuga to be the one to beat Luke. And I know another thing that's going to come with this duel as well is people are going to say, well, this doesn't technically count as a Luke loss because, you know, he was wearing the mask, he was brain controlled and all that stuff, and he's more than likely not going to remember the whole scenario. So theoretically, he's not going to lose, which if they do that, if he has no recollection of this duel, I'm going to be pissed off. There is no reason why Luke should lose a memory of this. I just want to see this freaking kid lose and it be legitimate. I don't want no bullshit of where it's just him losing his memory. I don't want to see any of that. That is total bullcrap. I don't want to see any of that. I want it to just be Luke straight up losing, whether or not he's the Luke man or not. I want him to have full knowledge of this duel, have full knowledge of what the hell is going on. I want to see that going into this duel because I will despise if Luke goes into this duel and loses and forgets everything that ended up happening. That would just be bad. Because, you know, people were complaining about that with the whole thing with, you know, when he faced off against Yugioh. If Luke lost to Yugioh in that Luke man mask and forgot everything, people would have gotten infuriated by that. And that's the same scenario now going into this duel, is that if that happens, the fan base is just going to rage by that. And I just hope that they don't do that. I want this to be Luke's actual first loss and not him being brainwashed. I don't want that to be the case, which I don't think it will, but the fact that they have that as a presence thanks to the Luke or Luke man, whatever, versus Yugioh duel, that does kind of terrify me going into this duel. But this is still going to be, honestly, a pretty interesting duel, even though I don't like the fact that it's Yugioh Luke again. I think there's going to be some pretty cool aspects to that. Then I think, honestly, I can, you know, let that slide that this is another Yugioh versus Luke duel in the final matchup of the arc, because of the fact that fusions are going to be involved with this. I mean, more than likely, we're going to see Dragius Star F in this episode and probably the next episode, and potentially even Luke's new fusion monster, which we did get announced probably a week ago at this point. We know he has another fusion card, so more than likely he's going to be using that. Yugioh is probably going to be using his Sevens Paladin. He's going to find a way to get fusion and use that in this duel. And I want to say this too, I really do hope that Yugioh also uses that other maximum we haven't seen. I mean, that has been the only maximum monster. You know, that fighter jet looking maximum monster. It's like it's the other overroad monster he has. I want to see that in this duel as well, because we've been waiting for that card to be used in Yugioh Sevens for so long now. I was very shocked when he used that monster he got from Roa, Nail, and Asana, you know, the lava looking one. I was very surprised that he used that one and not the new maximum monster, so I was really hoping that going into this duel he will use it. And I think there's a good chance to do it, because I don't know what other time you're going to be able to get him to use that maximum monster. Maybe he uses the maximum first, he isn't able to beat it with that maximum, but then uses his Sevens Road Paladin, and that's the way he's able to defeat Luke in this duel. I think that would be a great way to show off both cards in this duel and still make it a pretty interesting duel, because you would also have Luke using his two new fusion monsters. Well, one new fusion and the other fusion we've already seen the show, that one being Dragius Star F. So those are probably the big ones I want to see Yugioh not only using his Sevens Road Paladin, but also the other overroad monster, and I want to see Luke use that new fusion. I think that would be really cool if we were able to see both of those in this duel. But obviously, that's just my opinions of what I want to see in the duel. And actually, I forgot to mention this as well. I also want to see Sevens Road Magician actually duke it out with Rush Dragon Dragears. And I'm not talking about their upgraded fusions. I'm also talking about just like the base Sevens Road Magician and the base Rush Dragon Dragears, just duking it out as well. I mean, if this is a two-part duel, you more than likely have enough time to be able to show that off. So I think it would be really cool if we saw it. And also just learn how Yugioh is going to be able to obtain his Sevens Road Paladin, and how he's able to obtain fusion is going to be pretty interesting to learn as well. So that's just my thoughts on the whole aspect of the duel. And before I end off this video, I think there's just one thing I kind of want to bring up. Not gonna really talk about it much. It's just something I want to kind of bring up and want to know your guys' thoughts on before I do it in the episode 67 summary preview analysis, because I have an idea of what's gonna happen in regards to Yugioh, because that's a big question that I have going into the next arc, because he's obviously not going to be dueling for the rest of the arc, especially if this duel is going to be a two-part duel. My question becomes, what happens to Yugioh? Because Yugioh will still lose this arc, because if Luke ends up losing this duel against Yugioh, which is more likely going to happen, it's going to go to a 6-5 situation, and that's just going to be it. Rush duels are saved, Yugioh is defeated, and that's just going to be the end of this arc. But what happens to Yugioh? And I'm going to more discuss that in the 67 summary preview analysis, but that is a very big question that I feel like needs to be considered going into the next arc, because he's going to be defeated this arc. I don't believe that they're just going to pull something out of nowhere and just say, oh, even though you got 6-5, I'm still going to have rush duels on the line going into the next arc. Like, I feel like it's something is going to conclude in this arc, and I do believe it's going to be rush duels are going to be saved. Those pieces that were attached to the rush duel robot are going to fall off. They're not going to be a factor anymore. Rush duels will be saved at the end of this arc. I really do believe that. But what happens to Yugioh? Well, I'll go more into that in the 67 summary preview analysis, but if you guys want to make your own predictions, not only on this duel, but also what's going to happen to Yugioh at the end of the arc, I think that will be pretty interesting of a discussion. I would love to know you guys' thoughts on these two topics down below. But with that being said, that is going to be it for this summary preview analysis. Hope you guys enjoyed, and let me know your guys' thoughts on this upcoming episode in regards to Yugioh versus the Luke Man, and who do you think is going to win? Do you think they're going to pull a shock factor of the Luke Man winning? Do you think it's going to be some weird draw or no result? Or do you think it's going to be the more likely case in that Yugioh is going to win this duel and essentially win it for Team Yugioh and save rush duels? And let me know your guys' thoughts as well on the whole thing with Yugioh, and what do you guys think is going to happen with Yugioh? Do you think Yugioh is just going to pull something out of nowhere and say rush duels is still on the line going into the next arc, which I honestly don't see because of the fact that they extended it 2 episodes. If you're going to continue it going into the next arc, that doesn't really make any sense. Why didn't you just extend a couple of more episodes into this arc? Like, it just really doesn't make that much sense in my opinion. But if that's not the case, what do you think is going to happen to Yugioh? Or do you think that I'm wrong about that and they will go into the next episode with everything still on the line and they have to still deal with Yugioh? Would love to know all your guys' thoughts on this down below. But with that being said, that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, guys, take care and have yourselves a great rest of your day.